Hello, dear friends. This is Kira Rudik, member of Ukrainian Parliament and leader of the political party Voice. I'm talking to you from Kyiv, Ukraine. Obviously, today we will be talking about the meeting in the White House by President Zelenskyy and European leaders. Lots of hopes and expectations, but let's start from the facts. The fact is that this night, Russia launched again ballistic missiles and drones onto Ukraine, onto our peaceful cities. And ballistic missile hit the residential building in Kharkiv, killing at least 5 people. The emergency workers are still there trying to find someone alive, and our prayers are with them. But it shows you once again that Russia has no intention to end the war, and the ceasefire is essential for any peace negotiations. Because when I'm thinking about those 5 people who just simply did not survive until the peace discussions, until the peace negotiations, and this is why this will be the message number 1 that President Zelenskyy and European leaders will be delivering to President Trump today. The ceasefire needs to come first. We need to stop killing. This was actually what Trump was promising that he will get. And right now the situation have changed, but the reality on the ground did not. We need to stop the killing. So second, and this is very hopeful, that over the weekend we have for the first time have heard from American side the word security guarantees. And it is actually a very important step forward that the United States are ready to provide certain security guarantees for Ukraine alongside with European partners. So the goal number 2 for today's meeting in the White House would be for President Zelenskyy and Europeans to figure out what these security guarantees could be, and are those viable, workable, and if they can be something that Ukrainian people will believe and everybody else would believe, and then the peace deal is possible, then we can move forward. Because beforehand, again, nobody was having any idea and was ready to offer anything to assure that Putin will keep his part of the bargain. Right now, it seems that something is in works. And then there would be question 3, which is what is that Ukraine is ready to give up. And we believe that this is why everybody is coming together there with such a big delegation. Because as of right now, we don't understand why do we need to give up something, especially to give up Ukrainian territories. Russia has started this war. It's in their hands to stop attacking us. And if there is an idea of a frozen conflict, it should go like within the battlefield lines, right? We hope to deliver this information to President Trump and to explain to him once again. It's very unfortunate that after Friday's meeting, all plans to pressure Russia moved towards, okay, let's pressure Ukraine. Perhaps President Trump needs to be reminded that we have not started this war and that we are not trading our territories. To remind you once again that President Zelenskyy is not authorized by Ukrainian people in a democratic country to discuss or to give up or to make a deal about Ukrainian territories. There is a proper process for that, which starts again with the ceasefire. Then there is after the ceasefire is over, then there is a question in Ukraine that can be asked to Ukrainian people with a referenda. But it can not be one person who is deciding this. And here on the ground, I don't see any appetite on giving up Ukraine's territories. And again, what is Russia giving up? They were only able to take a very small portion of Ukraine's land over the last year. And they obviously do not have enough of capacity to go ahead and take more of our territories. So why should we give them up by just political agreement? It's still very unclear, and we need to be explaining this to President Trump with a calm and concentrated presentation. So are people on the ground concerned that the meeting of President Zelenskyy and President Trump may go sideways? Yes, we are, but we want to hope that everybody understands that it's not our goal for President Trump and President Zelenskyy to become friends. They are both representative of their nations, and they need to try to work it out, no matter what the personal preferences are. you know, as a person at work, you meet people that you perhaps don't like. And it's obvious that President Trump likes Putin more than President Zelensky. But again, should it really matter in the discussions of European security future? I hope no, but we also, as all Ukrainians, are wishing President Zelensky all the possible wisdom and being calm, cool, and collected to move forward, because a lot is at stake, a lot is on the table. It's also good that European leaders are there, not only for the sake of President Zelensky, but also for the sake of Europe as a geopolitical player who says, stop, you're not going to discuss the future of Europe, the future of the continent, without this continent and its representatives. It's good that this delegation is on Ukraine's side and is ready to chip in terms of the security guarantees. So regarding the security guarantees, let's talk about what that could be. First, it could not be something that Russia will include in their constitution, that they will not attack sovereign states. Because Russia has actually agreed to Ukraine's borders back after 1991, and there are a couple of laws and documents signed by President Putin, by dictator Putin, that they acknowledge Ukraine's borders and Ukraine's sovereignty. So that would definitely not work. What can work is, first, providing Ukraine with enough of the weapons of the wide range that will allow us to have a certain deterrence against Russia. Second, it can be some troops on the ground. It's a very open question about what those troops could be and what they should be doing, because it's when you're sending an international troop somewhere, you need to have a decision. What would happen if God forbid, somebody of those troops is being killed by an enemy? Are you going to go to war? What are you going to do? And third point, of course, it's getting additional countries into providing those security guarantees into some sort of agreement. For example, having China on board. This is something that President Trump hinted. So we are waiting for this meeting to happen. There will be more statements and more emotions boiling. Here on the ground, I can tell you, people understand clearly that it's goal of Russia to politically destabilize Ukraine, because we are holding pretty well right now. And they will be pushing for President Zelensky to promise to give up some territories, so that politically it will become here very complicated. I don't think that that's going to happen. Honestly, I think President Zelensky knows clearly what he can and cannot do, and he will not take on something that he cannot deliver. The goal would be to get this information with a proper and respectful way to President Trump. Thank you. Thank you so much for your support over these couple of days. Thank you for all good thoughts being sent. Please support this channel by subscribing and liking this video. Thank you, and see you soon.